Hiya, Stitchy friends. My name is April. I am the owner of Creative Cuts and Crafts, and today I am bringing you a whip parade. I am very excited, but it's a lot. I've got 27 whips this year, so I kind of just want to dive on in. You're going to see a range from, I think my first whip I started back in 2002. So we're going to start with the oldest whip that I have and then go to the most recent. Something that is fun, most fun to me, I guess, about seeing all of your whip parades is seeing the project bags. So that's what I'm going to make sure that if I know who made my project bag, then I am going to mention it in the video, and I'm also going to give a link to them down below in the description. So after the video, take a look down there. There is also a link to my Etsy shop. I have been diligently trying to come up with more designs, make sure that everything is active in there, and give y'all some fresh new ideas for your wooden notions and your wooden finish frames and everything like that. I've got some great things to come, probably just within the next week, for fully finishes that I have done in my own frames, and I think they're going to give you some great ideas. So, having said all of that, let's get started on my first whip. This is Believe in the Promise. It is a very old pattern from Design Works. Look at all that color. Even back in the day, I loved color. Loved it, loved it, loved it. If you saw my finish parade from last week, then you saw my Earth Dancer, which was like the first big project that I completed. And it was like Indian type themed and everything. I don't have any Native American ancestry that I know of, but I love their culture. I love their colors. So I got into like a Native American and Indian kick. So that's that one. That's what it's going to look like. This is technically in 2 project bags because I have the pattern and the floss in one, and it is in this, like, I don't know, Aztec-y kind of bright pinks, everything like that. Unfortunately, I don't know who made that project bag, but the later ones, we'll get into that. So this is on a big scroll frame. And you can see I've been working on the border. Actually, my needle and stuff, or not needle, but where I'm working is up here. But I had it scrolled down so you could kind of see the majority that I've gotten done. So pretty much all of the words, almost all of them, are done. So I did actually work on this last year, just a little bit, but the part that I'm in, on the side of it, is like these white clouds up here. And, you know, white on 14 count Aida is no fun. So I put it away pretty quickly. All right. So, and then the second project bag, my scroll frames or my scroll rods that are that long, I have these wonderful, amazing project bags that my mom made, actually. And it's so simple. You just open it up. It's just got a flap, and you can stick your whole scroll rod in there. I love it. So that's what that one's in. All right, next is a dimensions kit. It is Heartfelt Beauty. Pretty dragonflies. And so this is a kit. So this is also on 14 count Aida. The good old crunchy Aida. And here is where it is. Sorry, super wrinkled, but you know. Oh, and look at this really old, I kept this on here just to show y'all. This is the first needle minder, let's call it. Just a regular old magnet, right? And now look at all these other kind that we have. So fun. But yes, I love this. You can barely see it, but this shiny, shiny iridescent, that's the dragonfly's wings. I think it's so pretty. So I need to pull that one out and start working on it again. This is in a Harry Potter project bag. This is very indicative of the maker of this project bag. It is from So Much to Love. Love it. And the inside is like the newspapers that they passed out, which is cool. The next is by Hands On Design. I went to a retreat that hosted her as a designer, Kathy Haberman, and she put together this amazing kit. And this was the small kit. There's a bigger Oh Tomato. It's like a banner, and it's actually being released for Nashville Market. So y'all keep an eye out on that. I cannot wait to do it, but I've been stuck on this little one, this humble tomato pincushion, since the retreat, which was like a year and a half ago. So I really need to get on this. I am almost done, but this was fully kitted, so I don't really know or remember what kind of linen this was, but this is what I've gotten done. Almost done. Just need to work on it. And this is in another project bag that my mom made. Cute tomatoes with the flap. And I think, yep, tomatoes, pincushions on the inside. Super cute. Next is a design by Little Dove Designs, Bloom Wildly. Here is the chart. I stitched this on 28 count jade cashel linen by Picture This Plus. And I have a teeny tiny start. Look at that little start. It's just white too. Ugh. That's probably why I gave up on it so quickly. I hate it. It's so many times when you start a new project, you're on white. Like, really? And it's right in the middle, of course, because I do a lot of middle starts, you'll see, but it's where that white house is. So I've got a ways to go. But the colors, I love them. And I actually have this in a project folder. It is by Maddie and Me, who I believe is now known as The Quilted Story. And I fell in love with this thing. Mom got it for me when I was first getting back into cross stitch. Look at that, those bright colors. I think this is maybe her, well, I'm not gonna say, but I don't think it's her largest folder. But you open it up and it's got, so there's a pocket on the inside there, and then it's like a double pocket. And good old thread bed. Love thread beds. And, oh, yeah, see, there's my working copy of the Bloom Wildly. And it's got the same thing on this side, so it's like a double thing. So you can put like your pattern in front and then your floss behind it. When I went on a trip, I took this and I was able to easily put 2 projects in it, and you can fit way more than that in there. But I love this. I love it. I have a Mill Hill buttoned and beaded kit, and this is fun. It's a frog. It's so cute. When I came back into cross stitching, if you watched my finished parade, then you kind of remember that I stitched as like a teenager, and even up until like I was almost 20, I guess, and then, or early 20s, I guess. And then I took a really long break, and just a couple of years ago I got back into it. So I took like, I don't know, 15-20 year break. When I came back, I loved Mill Hill kits back in the day. Like, I have a lot of their Christmas books that some I kitted up, I just didn't do them, so they're waiting on me because I still like them. But when I came back, they had painted perforated paper. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And they had, I don't know, a lot more spring, frog type designs than I remember them having back then. I remember them having Christmas a lot back then, and now I find a lot of springy type stuff. So I was very excited. This is the first, I think it's the first, like painted perforated paper that maybe I've worked on. So this is a frog. So of course I had to have a frog needle minder on there, the Rip It. And this is also in one of my magnetic frames that you can find on my Etsy shop. This one's Fourth Wing related. Nothing to do with frogs, but it was fun and I like using it, and it makes stitching on perforated paper so much easier. So much easier. So check that out. But yeah, I have the frog kind of outlined, and I just need to work on it. It's a lot of fun. These colors are fun to an extent. There's some that I have that are going to be more fun, but that's okay. And I do stitch all of the floss first, and then I'll go back and add the beads on. I know that some people stitch Mill Hill kits a little different, or they want to see it all come to life as they stitch that part, and you cannot do that with a Mill Hill kit unless you're adding on the beads at the same time. But I like to do it, the floss first, then beads, then the one button. So that's fun. This one was also different because I hadn't done a Mill Hill kit that called for a lot of half stitches, and this also calls for like using, I think it's three strands of floss at a time. I don't know if I'm a fan yet. I like doing full crosses for most everything, but you can tell it's very covered. that is good coverage. So we'll see. And it's also blended. Oh my gosh. Okay, if I have one thing that I really don't like about stitching, it's blending floss, I think. So yeah, and you saw I have dimensions kits, and Mill Hill does it a lot, so I can do it. I just don't like to. So that's to each their own, I guess. Why does it really matter? I don't know. Like if it's 2 strands, it's 2 strands, but I can't use the loop method if it's that way, all this other kind of stuff. So anyways, carrying on, the project bag that I have this one in is, this is more of like an autumn type thing, but I guess I thought the colors went along with it. This is by Buckleberry Quilts. Very pretty. Good quality. And the cat on here actually kind of looks like an oversized version of my cat. He's not that large, but he is a Bengal, so he has that orangey. Of course, this cat has stripes, but my Bengal has spots and then stripes on his tail. So close-ish. But anyways, that's a fun bag. And she has this little like ruler tag on there. Okay. Next. Ooh, this one's fun. This is my first, it's not my first Primrose that I started, but it is my first Primrose WIP. And if y'all saw in my finishing parade, I definitely like Primrose Cottage, right? So Primrose Cottage stitches. This is called Hive Rules. This is the first it's the first rules that I started. So this is what that will look like. I stitched this on 28 count vintage smoky white cashel linen by Zweigert. Not a fan of cashel linen either. That's probably why this is still a WIP, because I started this, when did I start this? In May of 2024. So I should have this done by now. But this is where it's at. So I have the top done. I have all the way down to that. This I had fun with. I don't know what it was the simplest thing. It's just like back stitching. But I loved putting that little honeycomb in there. That was so cute. And I love it. Like I really do. I love the pattern. I love the colors, everything. I didn't change anything on this. But that linen, I'm not a fan. It's just, if I weren't holding, look how thin the fabric is. Right? You can see right through that. At least I can. Just not a fan of stitching on it. I got used to Lugana very quickly getting back into stitching. So stitching on cashel linen is just not that fun to me, but I do love it. I do like it whenever I pull this back out. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe I can get this done this year. That would be fun. All right. Let's see. Oh, this is another mom project bag. Since y'all know I love being nerdy and Star Wars. This is what do they call it? Candy skull? Skull candy? I don't remember, but it's a kind of pattern, and that's what this is. And yes, it just flaps up and it says Star Wars on the inside. That's a lot of fun. This is Madame Chantilly's Celebrate Crossstitch. I actually started this at StitchCon in 2024. So this one's been a WIP for a little bit too. But yeah, it's way bigger than what I thought it was. I still love it. This is on 28 count gray denim by Atomic Ranch. And here is my start. So not much. And also, look, it's white on this gray denim. So I do love the fabric. I love Atomic Ranch. This is a Lugana, so it's nice. But I had to start on white. So this hasn't gotten much love. I still like it. I want to do it, but it's kind of on the back burner with some of my other WIPs. And the project bag, let's see, do I know which one this is? I don't think I know who the maker is. This might be a maybe a pepper pot shop. I'm not sure, but it's very pretty. All the different colored tomato pin cushions on there. Look at this. I think I added this myself. Yeah, I think so, because I think somebody gave me this from StitchCon one year, 2024. And then the back, pretty, bright colors. And then the inside is just a light pink. So very pretty. The next one I have issues with, and I don't know why. I love hands-on design. Kathy Haberman, you've already seen some of her other stuff that I've done. And I'm not going to show this. I'll actually put up a picture here. The printing on this one didn't turn out that great. So I'll insert a picture here, but I will tell you this is Huga Holiday. And I stitched this. I started this for a Christmas in July. Let's see, Christmas in July of 2024. I keep looking over here because I have my WIP journal over here. And so I'm keeping, it has the dates and everything that I started. So July of 2024. And I have had so many issues stitching this. And it is symmetrical, right? So you have to make sure that everything lines up, both vertically and horizontally. So I've got some issues with it. I have made notes in my chart about, like, if I'm not going to fix something, then how to fudge it on the other side so that it matches at least. And the notes are getting a little extensive at this point, but I'm going to stitch it. I did the blue colorway, and I did change one thing. It calls for DMC 926 for the deeper blue, and I decided to use a variegated floss, Weeks Dye Works Deep Sea. So take a look. Take a look. It's in a book. So here is where I've got it. I've got one reindeer done. That was the last thing that I did. The first thing that I did was that tree, and me and that tree could have had some words, but that's okay. And the branch. But yeah, nobody will be able to tell what I have done differently except for me. So I'm just keeping on going. But yeah, I do really like this fabric with it. It's a little thinner than what I'm used to, but it's okay. I like it. So I'll keep going. And You can also see from this WIP Parade, I stitch on Aida, I stitch on Lugana or even weave, I stitch on linen, I stitch anywhere from, well, the 14 counts are from 2002 and maybe 2003. I don't have a start date on my second WIP that I showed, but that's 14 count Aida, and I have some more 14 count Aida, but I probably won't be stitching on it much anymore. But anywhere from 16 count Aida, like over dyed Aida, all the way up to now I'm stitching some 36 count like linen. So a wide variety. Okay. That bag is another Mommy Made Me bag. This is so pretty. My grandma was from Japan, and so I don't know, this reminds me of Japan. It's the more muted type blues. It's not like the bright blue and white like you would think of like the kitchen stuff, but this reminds me of Japan. Just the more subtle like navy and like a creamy white type colors. So pretty. So pretty. I thought that's what Hygge Holiday was supposed to be, like calm and relaxing and everything like that, you know? Nope, not when you have to frog it and fix it and fudge it and then write down in your chart what you've done to do all of that so you make sure and continue to do those things. That's not very Hygge to me, but okay. Anyways, I'll get it done eventually. Next, this is the first pattern that I have tried to stitch, that I'm stitching from Counting Puddles, and it is Spooktacular Party. I fell in love. I'm not normally one to stitch a lot of Halloween, but I could not resist those 3 happy ghosts and the 3 stacked pumpkins. And I absolutely love how it's actually the stitching that gives it that textured look. It's not back stitching. Like, she simply changes the colors and it just makes it pop and gives it so much texture. And then there are a good bit of specialty stitches, especially with the ghost tails and whatnot. So very excited. I did change a ton of colors on this. Not changed, but I added 2 because I really like sparkle and glitter and everything like that. So I was like, this is just DMC. I think maybe I should add sparkle. What I should have done was just trusted the designer, honestly. For my first stitch of their pattern, I probably just should have trusted the designer, because also this is stitching with that much Krynic or whatever else I have on here. There's a ton, but oh my gosh, stitching with all of that sparkly thread, I like the effect, but it's a pain in the butt to do while I'm doing it. So I will give you, like, this is all of the, there's no chart on here. So look at all of my notes for like, yep, add all of these when you come to this color. Oh my gosh. So I did that to myself, and I'm going to keep on going. But I have thought about, like, okay, do I really need to put sparkly area in this color because I haven't stitched any of it yet, and it would be fine without it. Yeah, I'm at that point now. So you'll see. This is stitched on 32 count Belfast linen. It is a solo dye by Coloring Cotton. I was fortunate enough to go to their store 2 years ago now, and so they have some solo dyes that they sell in their store. So you cannot get this color anymore, but I love it. And let's see, put this back there. Look at this grime guard too. That's perfect. My mom made a lot of grime guards for me too. And so I absolutely love using them on all of my Q snaps because, you know, I do wash my hands before I stitch and things like that, but On some of my older WIPs, you can see stains and everything from either where I was holding it or the hoop or anything like that. So I love these grime guards, and there's tons of places you can find them on Etsy. But yes, look at my pumpkins. They're so shiny. Oh, look at all that sparkly thread in there. Lord have mercy. I think, yeah, the green. See, I gave up on the sparkly. You do not see sparkly in that green, but you can in the ghost and all those pumpkins. I hope you can see the sparkly. But yeah, so that's fun. It's also huge. I didn't think it was going to be this big. But yeah, this 28 count, so, but yes, that's fun. You can also see with my WIP Parade that I am a variety of tools that I use, I guess you could say. The first, like the bigger ones, I do put on scroll rods. Usually they're by Roll-A-Frame, and I can link them down below. Most of you are probably familiar with Roll-A-Frame. If you do use frames, they are top-notch. But I definitely love a good Q-snap. So that's what these are on. Q-snap, you can't really see very well on that one. But yes, they are just the Q-snap with covers. I use cabinet liners. I don't know what they're called, the rubberized cabinet liners, to make sure that the Q-snap covers don't like hurt my fabric or my floss. What I do try to do is I try to only use a Q-snap if my stitches will fit inside the Q-snap frame, the opening, because I don't like putting the Q-snap covers over my stitches. Personal preference, but I think they pull my stitches some. So if it gets to that point, then I would rather stitch it on a scroll rod, sorry. That project bag, another mommy made me. This was honestly probably the first project bag that she made me when I got back into stitching. Good old Harry Potter. And the inside is the Harry Potter crest. Fun, fun. Okay. All right. That was one stack. I have 3 stacks. So we're going to move this over. This is, I love this pattern. This is by Satsuma Street, the 4 Elements. I've seen some people stitch this and it's so pretty. But it is also one of those that it's way bigger than what I thought. I don't mind stitching on dark fabric, but I do prefer that if it is dark fabric, then it be like a Lugana or even weave of some kind. So this, and for this particularly, I did not start this for a while because I could not find the blackest of black fabric that I wanted. But when my mom and I went to Brick City, yes, Brick City, when it was down in Florida, it's been taken over by a new owner, so it has a new name. But when it was Brick City, we went down there, and she probably had 8 to 10 different blacks on bolts, like bolts of these blacks to choose from. And I was like, yes. It's something about going to a store and being able to look and see the particular color of fabrics, feel them, make sure that they're the texture that you want, like the softness or whatever. It's just, you can't beat it. This is 28 count Black Jobelin by Witchelt. See, like it's kind of a go-to, I guess, at least in my book now, but it's by Witchelt. But I just did not know because I couldn't feel it and I couldn't see how black it was. So anyways, onto the stitching. Here is my progress. I'm starting down at the bottom where those pretty blues are. And I am almost done with the blue, the wave part. See, my cover is covering some of these stitches. I don't really like it, but I think I'm going to deal with it on this one just because it's so close to being the full width and height of the fabric this frame is, so I think I'm just going to keep it. But yeah, I put in the one fish. That was the last thing that I did. So pretty, so pretty. Their colors that they chose for this are just perfect. So yes, I'm very excited. And I love stitching on this black, so much so that I actually got some more of it when I went to another store and I saw that they had it. So all of my, I have a lot of black work patterns, not black work, but patterns that are on black fabric. So I was like, that's perfect. I'm going to go ahead and just rack up on this. And this bag is by Little Boat. Sorry, that was probably loud. And it's so cute. It's hedgehogs. Pretty, pretty. Yeah, and there's the back, same. And cute polka dots. And then I put my own little bag pull on there. This is a big one. I started this last year with high hopes of doing like one block a month. So you can probably guess this is by Country Cottage Needleworks. I'm just going to put a picture up of this also because my printed copy did not print so well this time. So I'm going to insert a picture, and it is called Frosty Forest. And I am going to stitch all 9 of these patterns on one big piece of fabric. And the fabric that I chose is 18 count Shale by Picture This Plus. So a fun 18 count. I was also thinking, oh, 18 count. That'll be a nice fun change from Lennon or Lugana or whatever. And it'll go quick, right? Right. Not so much. I have one square done. One whole square. So this one I did actually start in the top left corner. But yes. So I have 2 whole reindeer done. And look at that cute little needle minder. But yes, this is a good example of the roller frames that I use. They are perfect. Another mommy made me. She made me these grime guards that can be put on scroll rods. They're very nice. This bag is by Gamma's Treasures. Cute little foxes with their hats. Fun, fun. And there's the back. And then just some dots on the inside. Oh, since that one was on a scroll frame, it comes in 2 bags. I had the floss in the Gamma's Treasures bags, and then another mommy made me for the scroll rod. So nice little woodland creatures and more little nice woodland creatures on the inside. Fun. Another Mill Hill kit, it looks like. For the next WIP, this is Spring Owls, which is part of the Artful Owl series by Mill Hill. So lots of color. And this one is still within the kit, but it came with fabric, this bright green fabric. So Mill Hill is of course known for their perforated paper, or now PVC, but this one was one of their fabric series. And usually with Mill Hill, I don't change anything. So this is kind of a, what came in the kit is what I chose. So here is Spring Owls. That's fun. Mom and I like to start new things or start new projects when we go on trips to like stitchy stores or things like that. And this was one of those. I think we went to, might have been actually Brick City, and nope, this was a StitchCon start. Just kidding. If I make note of it in my WIP journal, then I'll say like why I started something or when I started it, that kind of thing. So this was a 2025 StitchCon start with Mom. Fun. She didn't stitch the same thing, but a lot of times if we don't want to stitch the same pattern, then we choose either the same kind of theme. So she probably started something that was springy this time when I started this. Since the floss all comes together, but they jumble it up, they just knot it all together and they make you separate it by their color descriptions, it's perfect for me to use one of my floss drops. So that's what I did. So you can find these kinds of things on my Etsy shop. Now I have it to where there's numbers around the edges, because I realize that some people use numbers, but I like this way better because it doesn't get all tangled and stuff, for my Mill Hill kits at least. And this bag is another So Much to Love. Like I said, all of the bags will be linked, or all of the bag shops will be linked down below, so you can find them on Etsy or whatever site they might be on. These designs are possibly not available anymore because a lot of these project bags I got a while back, but they'll probably have some more great designs for you to look at. This, why do I start all these at StitchCon? What is it, StitchCon? This one, I'm not going to say that I was conned into, but we really, really got along with our table mates from last year's StitchCon in 2025. And Mom and I were starting a new project every single day. We just came up with that crazy idea that we were going to do. And so that was fun. Saturday, which is the last like full day of StitchCon, we had just started our new project for that day. And then our table mates were like, we should start something together as a table. And the idea was to start it now, and then in December, we were going to have it completed. Like everybody was going to have it completed, and we were going to do like a Zoom or just a video call together. And we were all going to show how we finished it or how ours turned out, because you'll see in a minute, but you can stitch it as a monochromatic piece. And we all decided to pick different color fabrics and different color floss, and see how they would turn out. And they were so different, and it was so cool to see. And maybe, I think Mom and maybe Chris had finished theirs. I'm not sure if Robin did or not, but she had such a pretty pink piece that she was doing, and mine is completely different as well. Victoria's is different, and Sandra's, like, they're all so different. So it was so much fun. There were 6 ladies at our table. We made friends with them immediately. So this was fun. So we all hopped up and went into the vendor hall area, and had a blast starting a new project together. So this is called Flip Flopped Geometry, and it is by Works by ABC. The designer was actually there, and we didn't know that, or at least I didn't know that, but Chris actually said that she met her and talked with her and told her what our table was doing. On Sunday, we had already left, so she talked to her though, and I think it just tickled her. So that was fun, that we at least got to see the picture that Chris took with her and explaining what us crazy ladies were doing. So we kind of chose which one we were going to do. I chose to do this one down at the bottom, and I was a little unsure if this was going to show up or not, but it really did. And I decided to stitch it on 18 count Luna Moth by Bestitch Me. Such pretty and soft fabric. I was so excited to find this in the vendor hall. And the floss is Electra by Almond M&M's Silk, or it's Almond M&M's Studio, but it is a silk overdye. I don't recall that I've ever stitched with silk before, but I definitely have never stitched with Almond M&M Studio silk. And it is like, I don't know if delicious is the right word, maybe, but if you could feel this, it feels so good and it's so pretty. Let's see. So you can see all that variegation in there. It's so pretty. And that's like, those are my colors. I mean, if you can't tell from my logo and like all this other kind of stuff that I've showed you with my project bags, I like teal and turquoise and blues and stuff like that. So this is right up my alley. Look how slinky that is. That's fun. So on to my actual stitching. I have made fairly good progress on this. Since we started on Saturday, like afternoon, I didn't get very much done at all. I'm not sure how much I got done there, but it wasn't a whole lot. So I actually started up in the top left corner here, and I've especially heard Stitchy Fix Victoria, she calls it painting with her threads if they're over dyes to get a certain effect. I'm doing that a little bit. So I've just kind of kept a kind of like a rule, a guideline about some of the ones, like this second thing over here. I stitch one like little loop-de-loop first in a certain direction, and then I go back and I stitch the other loop in a certain direction, just to give me the same effect throughout the whole thing. So I've made notes like that on my chart, but I think it is just so pretty. Those silks, that color, it is turning out beautifully, I think. So I'm very excited to pull this out and keep on working on it, but I'm not halfway. We'll see. I'm getting there. But this is so fun. It's also the silk. I only have to stitch with one strand. It gives that good of coverage on this, what did I say, 16 count that I'm working on? Oh, let's see. 18 count, sorry. On this 18 count, I love the coverage. So just one strand. So yeah, I'm loving that. I will have to keep working on it. It is in this fun matchy project bag. I love for my project bags to either match the theme or at least the color of whatever I'm stitching on. So this is a project bag from Straight from the Heart. Yes, Straight from the Heart by Sue. And it came with a big project bag and then a notions pouch. I won't show you the back because it has a chart in there. But this, I think I got this matching set when I went to Color and Cotton. And it's so pretty. I also like a variety kind of project bags. Like I like the vinyl so that you can see the projects inside, but I also like the quilted or the totally fabric. It doesn't matter as long as it's cute. It doesn't bother me. And that's the back. Very pretty. But yes, perfect colors to match that one. Okay, I like full coverage. If y'all saw my finishing parade, you saw Hedwig, right? Well, this was the second like large full coverage that I decided to start. I'll insert a picture here. It is called Nature's Throne by Stitches for You Designs. I found this on Etsy. My husband is a hunter, and I did kind of realize, but he kind of also pointed it out that I hadn't stitched him something. So I was like, okay, I'll stitch you something and I'll make it, significant. So this is an elk, and he likes to, like I said, he likes to hunt. But it's very pretty. I kind of think it reminded him of Colorado, which he's been there to hunt before, and he really liked it. So this was good. This was a good pattern to try. I had never heard of or stitched something from Stitches for You. So I wanted to sort of, I don't know if it's called proofing their pattern, but I wanted to stitch something that I would see quickly if I liked their pattern enough to finish it, or if I needed to find a different elk picture to print or to stitch, sorry. And I do like this. So I started in the middle, but thankfully the middle is actually kind of where the elk is. So that's kind of what I wanted to focus on. I was like, all right, let's go ahead and get the elk in there and see how it looks. So for these full coverages, I will give you the stitch count. They are 180 by 2. This one is 180 by 295 stitches. Wow. It's honestly not as big as some of the others, so, or as Hedwig. It's much smaller than Hedwig. And sorry, I was looking for my paper. So that totals out to 43,935 stitches. And so far I have 9,551. I don't even have 10,000 stitches in yet. But I just started this last fall. I actually started it the first day of hunting season, just to, I don't know, be fun and goofy. I like to sometimes have a purpose to start something. That's not really true. I start things all the time. but if I can like line it up just to be cutesy or something like that, to make it more fun for me or whatever, then I do, right? It's more fun that way sometimes. So I only have 21.74% done on this one so far. That's not bad. Anyways, let's show you the good stuff. So here it is. Very pretty. This fabric is 20 count, Mind Blowing by Fortnite Fabrics. Get a good close up there. So I don't even have the elk finished yet. I color complete a little bit to an extent. So I was trying to color complete when I could. I do put this pattern into Pattern Keeper. Whenever I do full coverages, they typically go into Pattern Keeper unless for whatever reason it won't allow it. But this one did, and it works out wonderfully. If you don't know about Pattern Keeper, you should look into it because it's amazing. It highlights your color that you're on so that you can easily find it within the pattern so that you make sure and not skip one or miss a stitch or something like that. And what I like about it, because I'm a math person, I like to I like to know the stitch count. I like to know the percentage that I have done, everything like that. So it will tell you how many stitches you have left of a certain color. So, black 310, right? It'll tell you, you have 10,000 stitches left of black. Thanks. Not in this one, actually. Another red flag about this pattern for me was that it had zero stitches of 310. And I was like, with a pattern like this, how can it have 0 stitches of 310? But it does really good. Like look from back here, like, right? When you see a full coverage up close, yes, you can see the pixelation some, but if you look at it from a distance, it looks good. Like it's just the shading of the colors and everything that gives it that definition. So it's fun. I have gone up a little bit further than what you can see in this scroll frame, but it is literally just the tip of the tree just going even further up. So it was nothing fun yet. But yes, I'm trying to work more in this area down here just to get, I think this is the furthest point in the side. If not, it's really, really close. But I'm trying to go down further and just finish this area around the elk. Another fun thing about this is I had mentioned in my finishing video that my family likes to do challenges together. And I don't know how this got started, but I did take it and run with it. Our challenges they're simple, right? And they're meant to be fun, but they're meant to get you to do something productive so that you can see after, whatever it may be, a few months or whatever, that you did something that was fun and we were all rooting for you together and look how far you got on it, kind of thing. So what we do is we pick a starting date. I think for this past one, we did start it on January 1st, and then we're supposed to end on May 1st. So we ask each other, okay, what are you going to do for this challenge? What are you going to do for this challenge? And we try to encourage everybody to make it hobby related, like something that is going to be enjoyable, not, put together these bookshelves or whatever, like stuff that you have to do, unless building bookshelves are your thing, that's cool. But just something that's going to be fun. And so the elk, or the Nature's Throne, is actually my challenge for this time. So I love cross stitching, and that is a full coverage piece that sometimes, I don't know, like, it's not hunting season anymore, so it's not like, you know, a good luck charm for me to stitch on it while he's out there in the woods hunting or anything like that. So I was like, I really want to get that done by this coming hunting season, though, so that it can be displayed. And I think that would be really cool. So that is my family challenge for this time, is to get Nature's Throne to 50% complete. And that's easy for me to keep up with Pattern Keeper. Right now, I actually stitched on that yesterday, so I'm at 21.74%, and it's somewhere around 440 stitches, is like 1% for it. So that's doable. I have a little bit longer, but it's been neglected a little bit, so I need to pick it up. But anyways, that's our family challenge. And if you have, you know, a crafty family, or just a family that is motivated to do things together, I think that that's a really fun way to, you know, check in on each other. Like, hey, how's your challenge coming? I love, you know, just sending that quick little text to my dad and asking him how his challenge is going. And it also helped me to learn about their hobbies, which I think is really cool, because none of us have, well, Mom and I have the same hobby, but you know, everybody else has different hobbies, so it's great to learn what they're doing. So it's fun. Anyways, back to stitching. This is the Mommy Made Me project bag. Y'all have already seen this design in one of my other ones. It's that Star Wars skull candy skull candy. I don't remember. That's what this is. Ooh. So this is by Sweet Annette. These are fun. This is wood, stitching on wood. And I've done a couple of these before, but never, they were always the stamps. So just the rectangular blanks. And you actually stitch into this wood, which I just thought was fun and cool. And she has some of the cutest designs, and I love the color. And I'll bet you, after I say the word color, you can already guess which one I started on. Yep, it's this cute little one down here that's got all the teals and blues. Also, I have 3 cats, so that's fitting as well. And let's see where I'm at. This, actually, I'm just going to hold it up in the thread keep. Just don't look at my mess of a thread. But anyways, so this is where I've gotten so far. For this, it's just easier. You can't really find the middle of these very well. So I just started in the top and did some color completion, as you can see. But yeah, stitching in wood it's different, but for me it's fun. You do have to like put your needle through, and you have to hold it with your finger to make sure it doesn't just drop back down. But once you kind of get the hang of that, it's a lot of fun. It's big stitching, so it goes pretty fast. This is probably the equivalent of like 14, 15 count, somewhere around there. So it's big. And I think I did just use 2 strands on this, but it gives good coverage. And the cool thing about this came in a kit. I did get the kit, and so it comes with the other 2 patterns as well. And it comes with all of the things to finish. So I got this wooden piece, but I also got this overlay piece. And you'll see it fits right over there. And then, or it's probably this way. And then you stitch along the side to connect it. I guess you could glue if you really wanted to, but I'm going to stitch it. There's already holes there. Why not? And then to cover up your messy back, don't look at that. They give you this, it's not really felt, but it's some kind of paper just to cover it. You could just do your own thing. You could do felt. When I made the stamps, I actually put a wide magnet on the back and made them into refrigerator magnets. So it's kind of whatever you want to do, but they give you the backing. And then for these, they come with little feet, and you can put it on the stand. So that's cool. So yes, it came with everything. Sweet Annette, she is amazing. I love a lot of her designs, and I've definitely bought many things from her shop. And this one is in this project bag, which I don't know. I don't know who this one is, sorry. But it's pretty Halloweeny with a black cat. Okay. The second rules in my WIP parade. So another one by Primrose Cottage. This is stitching rules, and I am doing the whole thing. So this is very pretty. I know they just came out with a beach rules too, so she's got quite a few in there in that rules category. And this one, let's see. This is on Rainy Day, 28 count Rainy Day Lugana by Atomic Ranch. I love, 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 love this fabric. It is so perfect. And I love these colors. I did not change anything. So yes, this is very, very pretty. This is another one of those fun start things. This was my birthday start along with my mom. She's actually stitching on hers now in the evenings, and she's much further than me. So, but yes, lots of fun. Love the color. The color and those floss colors, the color of the fabric and those floss colors are just perfect. So, and then this project bag, the colors match the theme, I guess not so much, but this is Lucky Cat. The cute little Lucky Cat. This one is by Pepper Pot Shop. I do know that though, because it also comes with, yeah, she did a set. So it came also with the Notions bag and Thread Keep. Oh, I need so many of these. And I love it when they put stiff stuff in there. So this one's like not floppy. Those are my favorites. I need so many more of those. With all the 64 starts I'm supposed to have. Yeah. And then that one's on a scroll rod. So mommy made me. Y'all have seen this pattern before too, but this is the scroll rod bags that I like to use. Next up, I'm just on a Primrose Cottage kick, I guess. This is Welcome to the North Pole by Primrose Cottage. I have actually only seen this stitched up once, but I have seen so many people working on it. And I fell in love with it the first year that I saw it. So, which I think was like 2 or 3 years ago. But last year I was like, okay, I'm starting on this like now. So I actually decided to do the color and cotton floss conversion. You can find it on their website. And I fell in love with color and cotton floss when I went to their shop 2 years ago. So last year I decided to order the floss conversion for this. It's a lot of floss, lots of different colors, but I think it's completely worth it. The fabric that I'm stitching this on is 32 count Light Nougat by X Jude. And here is my progress. So I stitched on this a good bit last year during December, but I was doing a lot of Christmas stitching, so I kind of like got through this first area, and then I did a small, and then I did this second area, and then I did a small. But that was pretty much the end of December. So this is now kind of on the back burner until next Christmassy stitchy Christmas stitching season. But this has been a lot of fun. I love the colors in this. It's just been so much fun to stitch. The bag is a mommy made me. This one's different though. So it's got like hot chocolate, lots of blues, pretty blues. And the inside, bam, peppermint. That's fun. All right. I'm about to have an avalanche come down on me over here because I just keep stacking. Anyways, this is a stitch along, definitely a start along, because Stitchy Fix, Victoria and Chris and me and Mom decided that we loved the Christmas Town by Flossabilities. So we decided to start it, and they were nice enough to gift us the fabric. Victoria got it. It is 36 count Christmas Night by Atomic Ranch, and it is beautiful. Like, it's named perfectly for this, but the fabric is absolutely beautiful. So I've never stitched a Flossabilities before, and so that's fun too, is like when you get to try a new designer for the first time. But I will say 36 count, and this dark blue is a little, it's trying sometimes, but we're making progress. So I've worked on the first house there, and I've only put in one color so far, and I'm not even done with that. So, but this is fun. That fabric though, that is just the perfect fabric for this. So pretty. So pretty. So I need to get back to that though. That's another one of those Christmas stitches. We'll see when I get to it. Sorry. Sorry for the noise. This is a bag by Crab Shack Stitchery on Etsy. They have these nice big bags. So this, you can probably see, this is a big Q-snap. I think this is an 11 by 17 Q-snap. So this is a pretty big Q-snap, and it fits in their huge bags. I love this. But look at the size of this. That's huge. And fun inside. And she typically sells a big Notion bag too. So cute. And she's very affordable too. So if you need some big project bags for your Q-snaps, look up Crab Shack Stitchery. Okay, last stack. Not last WIP, last stack. We're getting there. This is by Hands On Design. This is part of their Polar Plunge series. This is the second one that I have, well, I've started this one, but I finished one. It was the Puffin Party, and this is the Narwhals. N is for narwhal. Pretty. I'm stitching all of these on, because I'm going to do the whole series. I'm going to do all 6. I think there's 6. I'm going to do all 6 of them, and I'm stitching them all on 32 count Blue Whisper Vintage. It's a little thin, so I'm going to put it there. I made fairly good progress on this. This year was the first year that I decided to participate in the 12 by 12 for the new year, but I did mine just a little different. Instead of doing 12 starts in 12 hours, first of all, I knew I couldn't do 12 straight hours. So I was just like, okay, I'll do 12 of something, but within like the first few days of January, we'll say. And I will start it on December 31st, like leading up to New Year's. So what I decided to do was 6 new starts and also work on 6 WIPs that I haven't stitched on in a while. So this is one of my new starts for that. And it was fun. And I did not get this done in 1 hour by any means. So I did stitch on it some more in January. So that was fun. And they're fun stitches. Sometimes hands-on design patterns, to me at least, are a little, they don't flow for me sometimes. I mess up on them quite a bit. It's probably because I'm not paying attention or counting right. But sometimes I do have issues with that. And with this one so far, I have not. And even with Puffin Party that I did, I did not have those issues with it like I did with the Hygge holiday and even the ladybug picnic that I just finished. So I don't know, but I like these. So there's that one. The bag, this is by Buckleberry Quilts. Pretty, pretty, pretty blue. And then the inside kind of looks like snow's falling. It's pretty. And the back is the same. This is the first pattern that I have done by Stitching with the Housewives. It is America the Beautiful. I saw this a while back and I've been wanting to work on it for a long time. This is another start from the 12 by 12. And let's see, this is not the blackest of black fabric. This is actually called Typewriter. It's 20 count and it's by Coloring Cotton. And yeah, it is more of a, I don't know, like a chalk blackish gray. For the floss, I normally keep with what they called for if it's the first time that I have stitched that designer's patterns before. I started putting in the blue on my fabric and I didn't like it. So this is as far as I've gotten, is this blue. But I changed it. It called for deep blue sea, and I changed it to Week Dye Works Blue Bonnet. To me, this is just more of a patriotic blue, and I'm loving it so far. So I am able to stitch this just with one strand, which makes it that much nicer. But so far I like it, but I did have to change that. And this is 1 hour of stitching. I have not picked this up since 12 by 12. And the bag, let's see, the bag, ooh, I got this bag at StitchCon last year. Oh, I fell in love with it. Here's the front. You can see all my pattern and stuff in there. But it's Harry Potter. Look at it. That's so fun. But yes, I fell in love with this. It did come with this as well. Little HP there. That bag is by Wick Quilting. I was kind of in an American patriotic thing for 12 by 12, I guess. And it's probably because of the 250th. I realized that I don't have a lot of patriotic pieces that I can put up. My husband was in the Air Force, but even when we say that we don't have like American shirts to wear, like 4th of July type things, it's kind of weird, I guess. But anyways, I'm remedying that. And so this is one of them. This is America, My Home Sweet Home by Primrose. Another one that I've had for a while and I just hadn't started it. 12 by 12 is the perfect time. So I stitched this on 28 count light taupe Lugana. And I did a middle start. Of course, started on white. Dadgummit. But I did at least put that red heart in on there, so that was fun. And let's see. But I had actually never stitched on this light taupe before, and they use it all the time for their pattern. So I was like, well, this is also the perfect opportunity to try that out. So I got some for Christmas, I think. And yeah, I can see where it makes the whites pop and everything else. So that's fun. This is in a stitching folder. It's kind of like a vintage patriotic colors. I like it. And it is by Stonehouse Stitching. Fun, fun. And if you open it, it has like a huge just open thread bed over here. Place to hang your scissors, needles. And I typically, if I have one of these folders and it has like a thing back here that's not vinyl, then that's where I'll put my Q-snap, just to protect it. And then I'll put the pattern and the floss and everything behind the vinyl part of it. So I like that. The next one is a big old whammy. Mom and I decided to start. This is not. I don't think this is technically her first full coverage, because I mean she's done like Paula Vons and stuff like that, even though not all of them are full coverage. I'm not sure, but anyways, I wanted to do another full coverage, and we have never stitched a HAID before, which is Heaven and Earth Designs. They are very well known for their huge full coverage pieces, if you did not know already. So we both picked out one that we liked together, and we purchased it, and we decided we were going to start it this year. So we did. We did not start small either. They have some smaller things. Maybe we should have done that, but we didn't. We decided go big or go home. So I will insert a picture here. And this is kind of like it reminds us of Japan and the pretty colors and everything. At least me, it has like cherry blossom tree and everything like that. And just, it's so serene. It's so pretty. All of the colors in there are perfect for both of us. We're both like bright, shiny people. And these are just, they're perfect. The flowers, the trees, everything. So we're going to do a little math here, right? So the stitch count is 650 by 650. Well, we're crazy. So this is the biggest project I think that either one of us has ever stitched before. And so much so that my wonderful dad decided, when we started looking at scroll frames, like to hold our scroll rods, I don't know how the conversation went with him and Mom, but eventually he was like, I can make that. And he did. And it's amazing. I will post pictures, but he has already told me, like, not one and done, but two and done. Like, he's made his two for his stitchers, and sorry, he's not going to make any more. But they're game changer for something like this. Like, if you don't have a good setup for something this large, then it's discouraging, and like I don't think that I would stitch on it if it was a hassle to stitch on this all the time, because it is huge. 50 by 650 comes out to, where's my paper again? I think it's, yeah, 422,500 stitches. Whoa. All right, I'll show you my progress also in a picture, because the scroll frame and everything is in another room. I have done 1,702 stitches. That's only 0.4% complete. That's gonna take a while. I am stitching it on 28 count white Lugana easy count grid by Zweigart. That's also a game changer for me. I did not stitch Hedwig on an easy grid, and this is so much nicer. I should be able to find my mistakes easy. My mistakes. I'm already counting not having mistakes. No, of course. Every stitcher has their unique touch to each project, right? Anyways, I should be able to find those unique touches to my project fairly quickly, hopefully, and be able to remedy them if I need to. And just, it makes counting them so much easier. So that the scroll frame, the size of the project, the easy grid are already three things that are new for me this time around for full coverage. But on top of that, there's a lot of confetti, even just in the top corner that I started in, which is where the cherry blossom tree is. And so there's already a lot of confetti there. So I decided to learn how to do the pin stitch. And so far, pin stitch is also game changer for me. Much less threads on the back, and I hope that it will keep down that puffiness that you can get from having too many threads woven under on your back. So that's also been great and something new that I've learned. So I'm growing. Yay. Okay. Whew, that's a big one. That's a big one. I try to put some stitches in that every month, just to see progress. And I do imagine that once I finish the elk, Nature's Throne, that this Waters of Nirvana, oh, I didn't mention the name. I'm sorry. It's called Waters of Nirvana. Anyways, I think that Waters of Nirvana is going to come into my family challenge a little bit more. Maybe just to get 1% done in 3 months. Who knows? Progress is progress, right? Okay, the next one, this was my mom's birthday start. So this is Where Love Resides. And this is by Leela Studio. This is on Mad Hatter's Tea Towel 36 count linen by Dames of the Needle. And I think, oh, that's good. I think it's very pretty fabric. And I just have a bit of a little start. I'm working on that middle house. Cute little Minnie Mouse needle minder there, because Mom loves Minnie. She loves Disney. But yes, I have a ways to go. But it's fun. And that's another designer that I have never stitched her stuff before, so that's fun to try. And the bag, I figured it was houses. Well, this is like a village, but this was a house. So I picked a house or village type theme. It's a vinyl front. And it's got quilters in, cute little stuff. Lots of bright colors. But yeah, it's all stitchy, quilty related. Fun, fun. And that is by Lynn X Stitches Creates. And it's another one of those that's it's a little bit bigger. So that 11 by 11 Q-snap that I have that pattern in, it fits very well in here. I got kind of a wild hair, I guess, and I decided to start something Christmassy in February. So I started Cup of Cheer by Primrose Cottage. So here is my progress. This is going to be a fast, quick stitch because I'm really almost done with that first. Okay, we'll say halfway. I'm not almost done with it. This is stitched on 32 count Lugana Sand Dollar by Bestitch Me. And I was part of her Fabric of the Month club for a while for her fabrics. So pretty. It's like just the perfect type of subtle variegation, I guess. It's pretty. And that is in this Made by Mama Joan project bag. I like it. It's got the Notions bag in there too. You'll see that I keep my Q-snaps on because usually the stitching is going to be inside that frame, but if it's in a hoop like this, then I will take off the hoop because I think that it creases the fabric more than the Q-snap does. To each their own, but that's what I do. So that's why you'll see the hoops. The hoop is in here, but the Q-snaps stay on. And then here's the back. Next up, another new designer for me. I have never stitched anything by Pickle Barrel before. Pickle Barrel Designs. I like to garden. This is going to be stitched, actually all three of them are going to be stitched on 28 count Storm by Crossed Wing Collection, which is a very old fabric that I had from a long, long time ago. And so I was thankful to be able to use it. So I'm starting with You Grow Girl. And that's what I've gotten done. So that fabric makes it look like the bright blue sky. And I tried to position it best for how it'll show up. I don't know. It's the best way for me, but yeah, it's going to be fun. Bright, fun colors. I'm not changing any of her colors. It calls for DMC, which is great. This is a folder actually by Steno Stitches, and I love it. Oh, sorry, upside down. Yes, so pretty. That pretty teal again. It's got some turquoise in there. It's got some bumblebees, fun things. And if you open it up, whoa! If you open it up, everything falls out. If you open it up, it's again got one of those flaps that I like to put my Q-snap in. It's also got a thread bed down here, and then a vinyl for all of your floss. I actually have another thread bed in here, which I prefer to use as opposed to this flat one that's open for anything, including cats to take it off. And then, yeah, it's got a cute crocheted zipper. Fun. You can tell that I got into the springy stitches here. The next one is by Sweet Wing Studios. I was fortunate enough to go to my newest local needle workshop, which is Cabin Crossstitch, and it's in Hiawassee, Georgia. So I got to meet Robin, who is the store owner, but the day that my mom and I went, she was doing a trunk show with Sweet Wing Studio, and the designer, Susan O'Brien, was there as well. So I got to meet her. And I didn't even know actually until like maybe the morning that we were going, but they were doing giveaways while they were there. And the first giveaway was for Wordy Birds April. April. My name is April. Hi. So it was so funny, fitting, whatever you want to call it, but I actually won that giveaway. So it was wonderful to meet Robin and Susan. They were both wonderful people. Susan, I have fallen in love with her designs more and more the more that I see them. She's got some great new Nashville market releases that are coming out. It's exciting. My mom and I are signed up for the Bright Side series that she's doing, which are just encouraging words, uplifting, that kind of thing, but like simplistic too. So it's nice. I think they're actually a smaller pattern maybe than the Wordy Birds. So we're planning on doing that too. But anyways, so Wordy Birds, I had actually already gotten January and February, and I was planning on getting March and April. They were actually in my basket, and she called out my name for the Wordy Birds April giveaway, which was a fully kitted project. Amazing. So I got that. I got this chart. I got all of the DMC floss, and I got 16 count Ariel Ada by Picture This Plus. So that is exactly what I used. And it turned out perfect. Like, I love this fabric. Picture This Plus, I think they do a wonderful job with Ada. So if you're wanting to try some overdyed Ada, I would definitely suggest them. But yes, this is the first thing, or the first bit that I've done is just the raindrops. And I'm loving it so far. It's so much fun. And look at my perfect hummingbird needle minder. Oh, and what's even more perfect is my bag. Because it's hummingbirds too. So pretty. And the back. Whew. Look at that embroidery. So pretty. This is by Pinky Promises. This is my last WIP. This is United We Plaid by Little Stitch Girl, another one who I have not done any of her patterns yet, so I'm excited. And she has quite a few other plaid parts. I don't know if it's really a series, but there are other plaid things, plaid patterns that she has done. So I wanted to try this one out. So it's red, white, and blue houses. I am stitching them on different pieces of fabric, and I started with the red house. So I am stitching this on 28 count blue Jubilee. And let's see. This, I did not change the floss. This called for, yeah, all kinds of overdyes. So I did not change the floss on this. And I know I'm starting on the red house, and it looks pink. That's because it is. I had to like look at the pattern and make sure that I didn't mess up the color and make sure that I like actually pull the correct color. And yeah, if you look at the plaid part of it, like there's red and there's pinks in there. So I'm doing okay. But I had to double check. And then this is in a bag that I got from Cabin Crossstitch while I was there. And because I didn't have a patriotic bag actually. So this is a cute little, it came with the bag pull here. Nice vinyl, and then the back is just like a blue jean type thing. But yeah, and it's got a nice little handle. It's like one of the only bags that I have with a handle, which cool. But yes, that was fun. So yes, that's my WIP parade. Also, I'm a Hufflepuff if you couldn't tell. Anyways, so yes, this was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. If you stuck around for this long, oh my gosh, thank you. I will be making lots of progress, hopefully, on all of these WIPs this year. Probably starting next week, I will start doing like a normal floss tube for whatever that may be for me. But now you have seen a starting point for all of my WIPs that I have. So next time when I show you this is the progress that I made on it, you'll kind of be able to see where it started from this year. So I have a lot. 27 is a lot. And crazy me, if you watched my finishing parade, you know that I am doing a 64-38 challenge. And that means that my mom has turned 64 this year. So I'm starting 64 projects. And I'm doing this with her. She actually is on board now after, I guess I called her out on my last video. So she is on board now. So we are starting 64 projects this year. I am turning 38 this year. So we are planning on finishing 38 cross stitch patterns this year. So if you would like to join in, I would love to hear if there are other mother-daughter duos out there that would like to join in on this crazy, or if you're just friends or whatever, like whatever you may want to do, that would be amazing for you to join in on that fun, because it's been fun for us. So with that, I'm going to leave you. My kind of slogan for my shop is love, grow, create. And that is something that I strive to do every single day. So in some form or way, I hope that you can love, grow, and create. Bye.